Wealth inequality continues to spiral out of control. Since the Occupy protests broke out in 2011, the problem has only gotten worse. All told, the top 1% of this country holds an astounding $32.6 trillion, while the majority of Americans, deep in debt, work their asses off just to survive. And the mainstream media is not talking about this either. According to a study by Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting, on average, someone affected by poverty appeared on any nightly news show only once every 20 days, an average of just 2.7 seconds per 22-minute nightly news program. That means poverty is covered less often than a water skiing squirrel. And between poverty and skiing squirrel, only one of those two things is crushing our country. I'll give you a hint. The squirrel is innocent, okay? But whenever you talk to the rich about poverty and the working poor, they like to respond, oh, those people, they say they're having trouble, but, you know, they have their own TVs and video games. Guess what, motherfucker? Those TVs and video games are the only thing distracting people enough to stop them from shoving a pitchfork up your ass. As you can see from this chart, video game quality has to increase to stay above wealth inequality, because the moment it dips below, boom, uprising. You rich face killers are in a world of hurt if that happens. As long as the UFC is bloody enough and the porn is raunchy enough, everything keeps running. But if the NFL goes on strike, you people are screwed. All right? So listen up, you rich poop stains. You better hope and pray that the 70% of this country who are suffering have all the access to video games and TVs they could want. Grand Theft Auto is your last line of defense. And 0.5%, by the way, 0.5% of the wealth of the top 1% is all it would take to do away with poverty in America. Can you imagine that in your heads? Here, let me explain this in a different way, all right? This is how much wealth the bottom 50% of the country has if it were measured in cookies, all right? This is the amount of wealth bottom 50% has. It's 1% of the wealth, okay? Now, the top 1% of the country has this much wealth. Okay, here, let me clear that up. Okay. Now, how much of that wealth would it take to eliminate poverty across the country? That much. 0.5% of their wealth. No more homeless, no more hungry children, no more living in cars. As David DeGraw said in his terrific article on this topic, having wealth distributed so incredibly unequally is a crime against humanity. But I'll tell you the real crime against humanity, not to try these cookies. I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna do a little taste test, all right? This is the rich cookie. Tastes like institutional privilege and a hint of sociopathy. All right? Now here's a poor cookie. That's gross. That tastes like poor people.